Hello, everybody. Today, I sat down with a longtime friend. I've watched him grow over the years as a musician, as a person. Of course, I'm referring to Lil Dee. You may have heard him on this program or seen him going viral on clips of him bodying verses on the internet and bodying grown men in rap battles. I remember seeing him maybe 6, 7 years ago at only 12 years old up at Shade 4 or 5, decimating beats. And it was there that I decided it would be time to reach out and bring him up to our radio program to see how his mind works. Because a kid that young being able to rap is just abnormal, especially in this day and age. That being said, I got to hang with Lil D. He's got his brand new song coming out in just about a week, Walk Through the Rain. And he's been testing all different types of genres, or I should say subgenres of hip hop. But if you know me, I just like that real lyrical rap, and Lil D is back at it with some real bars and lyrical rap. The same reason that I brought him back on the show many years ago. And this Sunday, he's going to be performing at the Savvy Seats tailgate, the same one which I'll be hosting. Giants versus Bengals. I'm not sure if the Giants are going to let us down like they usually do, but I'll tell you this, the pregame is going to be badass. So meet us at the Savvy Seats tailgate. Now, without further ado, here's my conversation that I just had with one of the greatest freestyle rappers of all time, even though the kid's 19, 20 years old, Lil D, aka Danny James. And remember, you can follow him on Lil D Raps on Instagram, and there's a whole boatload of great content up there waiting for you. And we are back, broadcasting live. This is the Ryan Show FM, and we are counting down to Sunday's New York Giants game. It looks like the reemergence of the New York Football Giants has begun. Danny Dimes is looking like he didn't just rob all of us fans of all that money that we worked so hard for. And as we face the Bengals, we get a treat prior to the game, like I mentioned earlier in the show. The great Lil D, aka Danny James, a dear friend. You heard him on the Natanya Experience, the show that I produced just recently, and now he's back to promote his all-new song, Walk Through the Rain, right here on the Ryan Show FM. Lil D, what's happening, man?
What's up, my guy? Good to be here. It's always love. It's always a good friendship over here with the Ryan Show. But yeah, man, my new single "Walk Through the Rain" is coming. It's dropping October 18th on all streaming platforms, everywhere you get your music. And if you know me, you probably know me from my freestyles, and if you've heard my music, you can kind of tell that I do a little bit of everything. I do some boom bap, I rap over some trap, I do some songs that are like emotional, I do some songs that are hype and happy and for the parties or whatever. But lately, I've been really in a zone where I just want to tell a story, talk about my life, talk about things that people can relate to over, crisp, clean, dope, boom bap beats where I could really talk what I want to talk. So this song "Walk Through the Rain" is exactly that. It's like if you matched Dead Presidents by Jay-Z with like the storytelling abilities of a Nas, just talking about how I really want to make it in this rap game and how I've been working harder than I've ever worked in my entire life lately. The pressure from my family, from the outside world, and just wanting to make something of yourself and be more. And I think that it's something that I know definitely up and coming artists are going to be able to relate to. But anybody, no matter if you're trying to start up a business or if you're just trying to break a generational curse with your family and you don't know how to go about it, this song "Walk Through the Rain" is going to be relatable and hit home for anybody that's going through that and that loves hip hop. So October 18th, check me out, all streaming platforms, "Walk Through the Rain" by Lil D. We here, man.
Most people, when they're comparing their songs to a Jay-Z song, I would just kind of, roll my eyes. But to anyone that knows Lil D, my man actually has bars and knows how to pick the right beats behind him. You're one of the first rappers that got famous just by the ability to rap in the past 20 years. That your
Yeah.
talent itself is what blew you up on the internet and made you viral as a kid. The authenticity of watching a 13-year-old kid, I don't know how old you were in that first video that surfaced of you freestyling, but you were young. You were
I
still a
was like
little kid,
12. I was
12 years
12,
old,
yeah.
and just bodying it. And since then, your lyrical abilities have just improved. My favorite version of Lil D is either massacring other rappers in rap battles online. I
Yeah.
still get a kick. I'll go back and watch some of those. But the freestyles, are just awesome. So it's cool to see how versatile your music is and how you can make all these
Yeah.
different genres. But yo, we love you because you can just body it. Because you can actually
No,
rap.
I appreciate you, man. Nah, it means a lot, bro. I feel like I've spent so much time like showing people that I could rap and proving myself in this game, but it seems like now everywhere I go, no matter if I'm with this rapper or I'm over here with this group of people, like not only do people know who I am, but everybody knows my ability. I feel like I have proved myself in the game. So instead of continuing that, like as I was telling you before we started, I'm always gonna have the tracks with the bars. I'm always gonna come with the dope punchlines and wordplay. But right now, I'm wanting to do what I started this thing for, which is tell a story, talk about my life, and make music that my fans can relate to the same way that I related to all these rapper songs when I was growing up. Because that's honestly why I started it to begin with. And aside from my song "Walk Through the Rain," I got an EP coming with Lil Vic. Shout out to Lil Vic.
Oh, nice.
He produced all the beats. It's a 3 song EP. It's going to be called "The Boy Who Lived," and basically, it takes you through the journey from song one to song three of like me, being depressed when I was younger, not being able to handle the pressure, suicidal thoughts, all of these things that I was going through when I was younger. Then you take it to the second song of falling back in love with hip hop, taking this thing seriously, forgetting all the hate and the BS that I used to have to go through and being like, let me zone in and focus and make this my vessel to blow myself up and change my life. And then the third song is me just ripping rappers to shreds like you like you say you love. So that's coming. I don't have a release date on it, but it's probably my favorite project I've worked on to date. So that's coming as well.
I'm hyped about that. And as an Italian American, I'm hyped to see you working with Lil Vic.
Yeah,
Authenticity and being able to relate to the kids these days is important. When you're out here impressing 35-year-old men and
yeah,
50-year-old men, it's hard to build that following. First off, congrats on not getting blown up too soon because we're learning that the music industry is just filled with diddlers and people trying to take advantage of
yeah.
kids. So you
I
made
was
it this
talking
far.
about
I
that the
think it's
other
almost
day.
the right time in history. It's like the
Yes,
right time in history, D,
yes. I was talking
for
about
you
that
to
the other
actually
day.
do it.
Yeah, I was saying that the other day. Like, imagine if I would have made that connect when I was like 12 or something. Damn, you know what I mean? Shit would have been scary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Truly. And so it's just coming together at the right time. And I like that you're storytelling because kids your age will be able to relate to all that stuff.
Yeah,
And
and they
it's
don't have a
right. It's
lot
not
of
like
that.
you're, exactly.
They don't get a
Especially
lot of
bar
that.
heavy music. It's a lot of auto
No,
tune,
yeah.
a lot of singing, a lot of melodic stuff.
Yeah.
And if you can capture that audience and make them relate and then bring them back to the roots of hip hop, I love it.
Yeah.
Especially from a
I
fellow
mean,
Paisan. So hey,
of course, bro. It's like that's also been a big thing. I mean, as you know, I always want to just bring the hip hop that I love, that I grew up on when I was coming up as a kid, to the mainstream in today's time. And I feel like storytelling is such an amazing thing that rap had that it doesn't really have as much. And these kids, people my age, younger than me, even a little bit older than me, they've only ever seen that with like Kanye. And, Kanye is one of my favorite artists, but it's like he's bigger on concepts than telling a story. And
yeah,
it's like, they'll maybe know "Stand" by Eminem, but they've never listened to "Rewind" by Nas, where he rapped an entire story backwards. Like they don't, Joyner Lucas is doing that a lot, but it's a different fan base, and I'm trying to bring that fan base to people who can see me and be like, oh my God, this is somebody that's my age or just like a couple years older than me. He grew up in the same place that I did. He grew up with the same music that I did. And he's still out here coming with this storytelling and this like relatability.
yeah.
So that's what I'm trying to do. I mean, people say that King Von was a storyteller or whatever. And, he had some songs where it was storytelling, but it was basically like one syllable. I got it dropped from the stripper. Even can and cheese
Yeah.
for the Glock. What a like, it's cool. It was cool in the club. It was cool at the parties, but it just wasn't. It's not storytelling like I'm used to. So that's what I'm trying to bring to these people on the daily.
That's great. And King Von was really just incriminating himself with all of his music. This is
Yeah, he
crimes
was.
and horrible things he's
Yeah,
doing.
yeah. I
Rest in
mean, there
peace.
was some of it that was cool, man.
Yeah, no, for
But
sure. I actually do
yeah,
dig King Von just because, like you said, it is storytelling and it is
yeah,
authentic.
it's better. Yeah, it's better storytelling than the people who aren't storytelling. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, I
So,
think everybody should try that. My favorite Lil Baby song that he ever did was the one he did when George Floyd passed, when he the bigger picture, where he
yeah,
was actually talking about something like they don't realize that when you actually genuinely talk about something that's important that people want to listen to, that people can relate to, that evoke emotion in somebody, instead of just talking about like, and I do this too, obviously. I talk about my bars and, oh, I'm the best, oh, I'm this, like, talk about money, talk about cars, talk about living this life. Like, you need that, but you need the other part just as much. Like,
yeah,
Tupac had Hit 'Em Up, Tupac had I Get Around, but Tupac had Dear Mama and he had Keep Your Head Up. And it's like that's what made him such an amazing artist. Biggie had, I Love the Dough, Mo Money, Mo Problems, Juicy, but even Juicy was kind of storytelling, but it was about that lavish life. But he also had Suicidal Thoughts.
yeah.
Biggie also had I Got a Story to Tell. Biggie also had Sky's the Limit and Miss You and Things Have Done Changed. And it's like people used to have that hand in hand, and now there's a very big imbalance. And lately with my music, that's what I'm just trying to do. I'm trying to, you know,
It's a good point.
small in the gap. Like,
I dig it. You're in a very different position than Biggie. You mentioned these guys, Biggie and Tupac. Their fans at the time were their age. And
yeah,
I'm sure that
yeah,
people that were older, like my age, 50, were like, what the hell is this crap? Get it off. It's not singing. You'd always
yeah,
hear
yeah,
that.
yeah.
You're in the absolute opposite position where you're putting out music that 35-year-olds are sitting there bobbing their heads to 50-year-olds, 55-year-olds, 60-year-olds
Yeah, 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 yeah.
are embracing. I mean, what's that like? Going to a show and seeing people that could be your father and grandfather embracing your music.
Yeah, I mean, it's great because I would say that that's the hardest audience, as you were saying, to like obtain. Like that's the hardest audience to get to really rock with your stuff. I mean, I don't think that if I'll use Polo G as an example, rock with his music. I think he's doing some really cool stuff, but I don't think that if Polo G got in front of the crowds that I got in front of, a little TJ or A Boogie, like from the 30 to, like, let's say opening for Rakim or opening for Ghostface or something, like I don't think that they would be able to really resonate, like only maybe with a couple people in the room. And I feel that once you're hot and once you're popping and you got some followers to you and you actually verified and you're out here doing your thing, that's when the kids are going to look at you. So really all you have to do is make it to that point and they're gonna rock with you. They don't care about anything unless something's cool. They don't care about anything unless something's famous. They're only about the trends. Like they would listen to a song one day and say it's trash, and the next day, if there's like a TikTok trend to it or something, then it's the song that they're bopping every single day. It's like nobody thinks for them. I'm not saying nobody thinks for themselves, but it's all very trendy. It's all very, I'm gonna do it if everybody does it. So the fact that I have this audience that, you know, on the other hand, thinks for themselves and, has grown up with the same roots that I grew up with and can resonate with my stuff because it's familiar to them. I think that it's great. And I shout out to all my fans, no matter what age you are, but that's the hardest audience to obtain. And the fact that I got it, you know, it is very, very amazing
Yeah.
to
The
me.
kids these days, not to knock any of that generation, but it's almost like programming. They had phones in front of their
Yeah.
faces
No,
telling
yeah,
them what's
bro.
popular since they were little kids. Whereas when I was a kid, especially when I was a kid, you had to go out and find something to like. You had to go out and buy a
No, yeah.
CD. The most
Yeah,
that we had, the
it's
real change was
crazy.
with, I believe, Napster was when we were kind of discovering things in almost a microwaved way. Where when I was a little bit younger, you really had to go out of your way. So, hey, like you said, that generation also appreciates greatness to a different level. So, hey, hats off to you, D. And to anyone out there listening right now, you can see Lil D in action this Sunday at the Savvy Seeds tailgate for a
Yeah,
live performance. Giants, Bengals, but the real show happens beforehand at the Savvy Seeds tailgate. And if you use promo code Lil D when you purchase a ticket to the game, Well, you're lining Lil D's pockets. Also, you're making you're making Savvy Seats a way bigger and better company. SavvySeats.com, promo code Lil D. This is going to be an awesome, I guess you'd say, I don't want to call it a concert. It's going to be just a performance that everybody can actually see you live. We've all seen you freestyle on the internet, but now some people can
Yeah,
actually come check you out in person.
yeah,
And you know people are going to be lit off that Happy Dad. So one more
yeah.
time, Lil D Raps on Instagram is where you can find our friend Lil D, and his new song Walk Through the Rain is coming out on all
18.
platforms soon. And Lil
Yeah,
D,
yeah.
any last wise words for the young content creators out there?
Stay consistent, stay hardworking. You know, always network, always be outside. You know, the Instagram is important and the TikTok is important, but something that I'm really realizing lately is that the real world is just as important, if not more important, because like if Instagram or TikTok or whatever you're rocking on shadow bans you or plays games with you or their algorithm changes to a way that doesn't really support your thing, if you don't have connections in the real world and you didn't spend all that time at these events trying to network, trying to get in the right rooms with the right people, trying to reach out to the right people and just building your network of people, then you know it's going to be that much harder. So, I mean, stay consistent, believe in yourself, don't give up, use like trial and error to make sure that you're putting out the right content, and let's go Knicks, you know.
Yeah. Yo, looking good, by the way. By the way, congrats on the work that you did with
Yeah,
the Knicks. To those that don't know, Lil D made the anthem for the New York Knicks playoff run. So, what do you think as a Knicks fan? Are you worried that Cat is in town? Do you
I'm
think
not
he's going to be
worried,
able to
I'm not
step
worried.
up?
I think so. I mean, my thing is like, obviously as a Knicks fan you've been through a lot. um I don't want to jinx nothing, but the fact of the matter is that he's been a Knicks fan since he's a kid. You know what I mean? He's loved the team. Like all kinds of stuff is coming out now of when he was younger and just being so in love with the Knicks and being like a big dream of his was, you know, I want to be on the Knicks. I want to play for the Knicks. That's why I love basketball so much. That's my favorite team. So the fact that he's here in New York, like obviously it's going to take some adjusting to get that like chemistry together, but I think that by the time that the season starts up, we're going to be ready to go. Everybody's going to be used to playing with each other. You know, it's a new Knicks look. Obviously, I'm Italian. I'm going to miss Dante DiVincenzo so bad. I love my guy Devo. He got a fan for life. Same thing with Randall. You know, he started this all for
Yeah.
us. Like, if you really look back, he changed everything. Like him and Tibbs really, and Leon Rose. It was just the work that was done was phenomenal. And you know, I'll say when because you got to use wishful thinking. When the Knicks win the chip, if it's this year, next year, whatever, we're gonna be thanking Julius Randle for setting it in motion. You know,
Yeah.
so it's mad love to Julius Randle. He's got a fan for life in me. Same thing with Devo, and same thing with Hartenstein too. You know what I mean? He put in so much work. I mean, it's been a while since he's off the team officially, but he'll always have a supporter in me. But I really feel that with this starting five that we have one of the best looks in the NBA. I think that we're figuring it all out, and I think that we're really contenders to win this thing. You know,
I mean,
I
on paper,
mean,
that starting five is pretty
yeah,
serious.
that starting five is seriously amazing. I mean, and Cat and the way that he plays opens up room for Brunson to do what he does even more. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's like you got Brunson who just has to do the same thing again. Josh Hart who has to do the same thing again. OG, as long as he stays healthy, we good on that front. Mikal Bridges, you know what I mean? Great addition to the team. And Cat, one way or another, you know, we were losing. We didn't have a solid center like Mitchell Robinson. Shout out to my guy Mitch, but you know, we weren't solid on that front. We didn't have he's not gonna be until like December, January, they're saying. So we needed something. And that was a big missing piece. And I think we got it, man. I think we got it.
Let's see if he
And
taps
I'm
into his
I'm so
inner
excited.
Patrick Ewing and play some
Yeah.
hard nosed defense.
No, yeah, I think he's gonna buy in. I really think he's gonna buy in. I
Because he's
mean, I
not a
think he
center.
sees.
You mentioned Mitchell Robinson's a center, and if he can stay
Well,
healthy
yeah,
and do
yeah,
what he
yeah,
does,
yeah,
and
yeah.
Cat can fit
No,
into
of
that four
course,
spot,
and then he can go to the four exactly. But right now, while we're short, the fact that we have him to kind of carry the weight of the load is, it's putting us starting us off in a better position than we were. And when Mitch comes back, we're even that much better. We're even that
yeah.
much better. So I'm just so excited. I'm excited to do more raps about the Knicks. I'm excited to watch as a fan. I'm excited to go see some games. I'm excited to, see them run my commercial again. I'm just like I love the Knicks. I love the organization. I love the team. I love the fan base. Like we got the best fan base in the world. I feel like no matter what, we they say that our fan base is the most like a soccer fan base, over there in Europe
Intense.
because it's intense and it goes deep and it goes for years and generations and we take it so serious. So, I love the Knicks and no matter what you feel about the Knicks, you have to admit that we got a solid roster. We got a solid starting five, one of the best in the NBA, and we're genuine contenders for this thing this year.
And for the future, it looks like too. People don't talk about this either. Ant Edwards is young, and it's hard
Mm-hmm.
to have a guy like Ant Edwards who's super outspoken, 22 years old, considers himself the next Jordan. That can't be that easy to play alongside of when you're Cat, who was the backbone of that team
Yeah.
for all those years. Now you've got Jalen Brunson, who's a little bit older. He's what, 5 years older, seems to be more
Mm-hmm.
mature and just a better leader. Whether or not he's better, I don't think he's better than Anthony
Yes.
Edwards talent wise, but just from a leadership perspective, I really do think that this could be a great combo. And maybe he'll actually bring out the best in Cat. I just worry about that New York media because the New York media is vicious. As long as
Yeah.
Cat can
Yeah.
keep a stable mind, I think that the Knicks are definitely better off. But I guess
No,
we'll see.
I agree. I agree. I think the fact that like we have Brunson and how amazing he turned out to be and how amazing he is, it's like I think that anything is possible. He, as you
Yeah.
said, he is a great leader. He's a great role model. He works hard. And the fact that he took less like that is
Yeah.
unheard of. Like the fact that he did that, it just shows where his priorities are and how this is where he wants to be forever. And I think when it's all said and done, there's going to be a Jalen Brunson statue outside the Garden
I
when
think
he
you may
makes
be
it
right. Well, they
happen.
can afford it with that pay cut. I'll tell you that much. Everybody go check Lil D at Savvy
Yeah,
Seats
yeah.
Tailgate Party, Giants, Bengals, and be sure to, I guess, watch the Knicks because they're going to be playing his music at the Knicks game for the commercials as always. Lil D Raps on Instagram. Go check him out and be ready for his brand new single dropping August 18th. Nobody go anywhere.
October, 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 October.
What did I say? November?
No, you said August, my boy.
Why did I say August 18th? Yeah, we're going to wait a whole year for it. October
October
18th,
18th. We
it goes
here.
down. Walk through the raid,
Yeah.
Lil D in studio. And you stay with us, folks. We got a lot more going on tonight. This is The Ryan Show FM, and we shall return.